Arsenio Hall, but I don't really know who he is. And even those of you who have seen his late-night television show and are fans may still be wondering who he is. I think the best part of his show is when he's totally outrageous. Then he says, bad talk show host, bad talk show host. I had a chance to meet him when we did a profile on his pal, Magic Johnson, and he was a lot like he is on the air. He's funny, articulate, a little wild. And then for this piece on him, I found there's a flip side to Arsenio Hall, and I don't mean funny, but you have to hang around him a while before he lets you see it.
Oh, they think I'm the executive producer.
That guy coming to work in sweats and denims, he's the boss.
Everybody always wants to know what kind of car I drive.
He's president of his own multi-million-dollar company.
I gotta have this taken off. Have this taken off my ride. Okay, let's play show business. They do E.T. over there. If you want to, we can run and, like, hide under Mary Hart's desk while she does the broadcast or something, man. Maybe not. This is where I live.
The reason things have worked out for me is because I've made an attempt to be real and be a liberator of the bland. And
Liberator of the bland.
So, have you ever videotaped your sex?
not like Johnny. That's what's been hard for people to deal with. It's not that I'm doing something that's not been done. It's not that I'm any more radical than rules that you've seen broken on Saturday Night Live or David Letterman. It's just that...
You don't fit the stereotype.
I don't fit the mold at all.
And now, get naked! It's Arsenio!
In less than 2 years, Arsenio Hall has fired his talk show for the MTV generation into a contender for the crown of late-night television. He's all over the place, bounding into a frenzied audience, giving them high fives, and spurring them to bark like fans at a football game. He greets the house band he calls his posse, bows to his writers and producers. It's not a television show, it's more of a late-night party, with the hottest stars who never go on other talk shows.
Michael Jackson, Eddie Murphy.
I have the most desirable demographic for a lot of film people. My audience, the demographers say, is 12 to 35. They go to see the most movies, drink the most Pepsi, wear the most Reeboks, buy the most albums. You know, it's strange. They can break it down in all kind of little ways and everything.
Sure.
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
He's #1 among those who spend the most, a marketer's dream. In some cities, advertisers pay twice what they'd pay for a 30-second spot on Johnny Carson. So even though he's got a smaller audience, Arsenio's satisfied.
I'd rather have a small, obsessed audience like you hear out there every night than to be loved by everybody.
It wouldn't be bad to be loved by everybody.
It would be bad, because if I was loved by everybody, I'd be doing something wrong.
You think so?
Absolutely. Martin Luther King was a wonderful man, but he wasn't loved by everybody because he had a mission.
And you feel you have a mission?
Oh, I definitely have a mission, and I'm definitely rocking the boat. My mission is through laughter to try to bring people together. Now, who does that sound like to you? My idol, the Martin Luther King of comedy, is what I'd like to be.
Fulfilling that mission means mixing a message with the laughter. And before each show, he prays on an Armani-clad knee that he'll succeed.
I pray that I can be the best that I can be.
You ready? Okay, man.
Within that, there is a kid who remembers his neighborhood and wants to reach back and touch the people who are still there.
Even as a toddler, you could see the determination. Arsenio Hall made it against the odds. He grew up poor in a single-parent family in Cleveland, Ohio, in a neighborhood he says was full of failure and apathy. Then how did you, as a kid growing up, believe that you were going to make it? Because everything was working against you in that respect.
I was educated in the home before I went to the school. very, very well educated at home, well balanced, and to the point of being arrogant.
Arrogant?
Oh yeah, to the point of being arrogant. I had a high school guidance counselor who told me to take shop. And I said, why? She said, because I don't think you're college material and I want you to have a trade. So now you look, and that sounds almost ridiculous. Arsenio Hall was told to be a mechanic because that was about it for him. So if I had listened to her, I'd be Mr. Goodwrench right now, you know. I'd be someplace saying, you're gonna get me a plug?
Arsenio says he'd always promised himself that if he did make it, he'd do more than go to the bank.
What are we gonna do?
A series of anti-drug commercials is one way he's giving something back.
I told my parents that I was doing cocaine.
And what did they say?
I knew that I hurt them.
There are a lot of kids out there that do what I say. And I can't help everybody, but I'm gonna try because I got the time and I got the light.
It's midnight.
Don't play so low they can hear me.
Under dim light in a Hollywood jazz club. Arsenio is still working, even though it may look like he's only fooling around.
It started to hurt after a while. It hurt.
He's developing a routine he'll use on the show 2 days later.
You did great. Watch this.
Oh, that worked just fine. That worked just fine. I'm really a loner by nature, and I'm very distrusting.
Do you have that person that you trust now?
You asked me on the wrong day. I'm not quite sure.
Eddie Murphy.
I was thinking more of someone I can lay with.
Okay.
You have to keep in mind, Eddie and I are guys, and we're comedians. And if you're looking for someone sensitive to tell your problems to and he won't tell all the other fellas, wrong guy. And I'm not saying all guy friends are like that, but I can tell Eddie, man, I got a problem. Connie was over last night, and we were having this talk, and it's like, Eddie will be dialing the phone to tell people, as I'm telling him. Like, Connie was at his house last night. You know, it's a woman I thought we were speaking of more.
We were.
Yeah.
I actually switched genders on you. There isn't a woman that you really feel close to right now.
Oh, there are a lot of women I feel close to. Most of my friends are women. I have this respect and love for women bordering on obsession. I was raised by Elizabeth, Annie, and Idella, my grandmother, my mother, and my godmother. So my best friends are women. The majority of my staff, women.
She knew we were coming. She never wears earrings. She knew we were coming.
I'll take him up. I'll take him up.
Marla Brown produces the Arsenio Hall show.
This is Sandy.
Hello. Straps and all.
From Kick It Sandy fame.
Or Bust a Move.
From, yeah.
And Sandy Fullerton directs.
The best director in television. And you know
I trust them. They take care of me. They give me something that I don't have, that a man can't. See, I'm all the man I need to be. But women give you something intellectually, emotionally, that make me a better artist.
How are you? Has anyone told you your breast is hanging out?
When I said I love women and I respect women, there's another side of that. I also love women in that other way, too.
Just don't lean forward doing the jokes at any point during the show. Don't do this.
I'm a hound. You know, women, but we have things now that kind of encourage you not to sleep around and be wild. And that's why I'm a one-woman man.
Oh, a one-woman man
Yes.
on a given night is what you're saying.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
no, I'm
you
not.
are.
No, I'm not. What? Have you been in my bedroom, Connie?
No!
Okay, Connie.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a time in my life when I was wild. And I'll tell you when it was. When you first hit this business, there's a realization that people are attracted to you for your position in the limelight. Women come up and say, I can make you scream words you've never pronounced before. And you say, my show must have been good tonight. I just think you have to get it out of your system. And I got it out of my system. And ain't nothing to it. You young guys out there, ain't nothing to it. Trust me.
Gordy, give us some funk, something.
You can't touch this.
Oh, yeah.
You can't touch this.
Oh, Lombardo, no.
He may have gotten it out of his system, but he hasn't yet gotten it out of his show.
Don't this thing itch? This thing here?
It itches no more than a man's beard.
Oh.
The attitude he takes with some of his guests, well, it may just be the soft, plushy chairs, but sometimes it seems he's trying too hard. Some critics even use the word fawn. When you try and pump her stuff, it seems like you're fawning. And you're throwing her softballs and things like that.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm not Ted Koppel. I'm not there to throw hard balls. See, what people who do
Yeah,
what
but
you...
you gotta have some bite sometimes,
No,
don't
I
you
don't
think?
have to have nothing. I've heard this word fawn a million times. It is not a bad word to me.
Fawning all over a guest?
Exactly. It is not a bad word to me. I like my show, and I like the way I do it. If the people criticizing me could do it better than me, they'd have a show, and they'd be taking home the bank that I take home. Now, my publicist is freaking out behind you, but I could give a damn. This is Arsenio. This is another part of
So
Arsenio.
you're saying you take that.
Yes, I'm being honest. I grew up looking at Sammy Davis Jr. and saying, I admire that man.
But you know, at the same time...
So when he comes on, we have a term in the ghetto called proppers. And that's what you all call fawning. I give him his proppers. See, I'm an entertainer. I know the bad side of show business. I've had a club owner put a gun to my head and tell me he's not going to pay me. I have struggled. I have eaten in the supermarket while I walk through with a cart.
What does that got to do with anything?
I'll tell you exactly what it has to do with it. I respect entertainers and the struggle that they experience. And when a person is good at what they do and successful at what they do, they deserve some proppers. If you won't give it to them, and if your colleagues won't give it to them, my show is there to give it to them. There was a kid on my show last night.
So if you're
There's a kid
not
on my
good
show last
to-
night.
so
There's a
if
kid
you're
on my
not
show
good-
last night.
so
There was
if
a kid
you're
on my
not
show last night.
so
There was
if
a kid
you're
on my
not
show.
good to Robin Leach-
Kid on my show last night who was a basketball player from Harlem, and he's homeless. And I'm gonna fawn all over him. I'm gonna fawn all over him because he's got a scholarship to Maine.
Because I'd be happy about him
Yes,
too.
he's got a scholarship to
But I'm
Maine
talking
now,
about just
and he
this
got it
any
against
old
the
buddy,
odds.
and you're going,
It ain't any old, no, it ain't any old body. The
mean-
bottom line is, I designed this show to be a party. I designed this show for fun. And Connie, spread the word. I'm winning. I'm doing very well. So once again, in the great words of Dick Cavett, tell the critics who don't like what I do to change the channel, or kiss my ass.
Yes, we all got to strive for the top this year. Everybody, every one of you, reach for the top. That's where you'll find me.
You'll find Arsenio at the top of Paramount's star list for the next 6 years. He just signed a deal to star in 4 movies, and he'll be developing several other new television shows. About the last thing he told us was, in Hollywood, the days of blacks being just performers are over. Apparently, he's carving himself a piece of the pie. Don't go away. We'll be back in a moment.